Hello and welcome to No Access Required. Well, the new Xbox. I said in a previous video that it had to be all singing and dancing. It had to speak to everything. It had to have a full back catalogue, and I even wanted it to be VR compatible. Oh, what a fool, eh? Who the hell am I? Well, I'm a customer, and that should mean something, although increasingly it means less and less. And that's because there are people like Satya Nadella around, for whom we the customer are just a means to an end. We are not the end. And that is a problem. We're currently in a situation where these CEOs are so unbelievably powerful that the real world doesn't affect them. And not only does the real world not affect them in any significant way, the world they live in is one that's been made by them, where the only people they have to answer to are shareholders. Not us, not the customers, shareholders. And those two entities are incredibly different things. We want different things. And people, by and large, who invest, not so much in these modern times, but certainly over the last 20 years, people who invest aren't people who play games. And I know there's going to be a load of you out there going, well, I play games and I invest. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's exclusive. But there are many, many people who play games who don't invest. That's just not their jam. And so this gentleman here is servicing shareholders. And for that, he earns, brace yourselves, 96.5 million a year. Or thereabouts. I mean, I dare say it fluctuates. But it could fluctuate quite a lot and it really wouldn't matter, would it? I mean, what's he doing with that money? Is he buying a country or two? If that's what he's doing in a year, what's his combined wealth? What's he doing? Why isn't he serving humanity? Why isn't he making this entire endeavour of living better? I'll tell you why. Because CEOs are kind of mildly psychotic. And maybe a bit more than mildly psychotic. Their gods are not our gods. And by which I don't necessarily mean God the Father or Jesus Christ or Buddha or any other venerable individuals in the heavenly pantheon. No, spreadsheets, profit, all the money, like not just some of it, but all the money, every last bit of it. And what for? Corporate ego. When people say that corporate ego doesn't exist, and Bobby Kotick, and many others, people fail to realise that the individuals running these large conglomerate AAA corporations are the corporation. And if you don't think that everything that they are, that they've worked so hard for, that they've strived for, that they've clawed their way up the greasy pole, tooth and nail for, isn't on full display, it is. I met a couple of CEOs years and years and years ago, and they were by far the most misplaced confident people I have ever met. Because their power gave them confidence. Not because they actually had any, but they understand what this does. And it effectively insulates you from the world at large. Hence, we get the problem that we're currently in. I say problem because it's kind of problematic and certainly emblematic of the issues that I have with large companies moving forward. Xbox have taken themselves out of the console wars. I said in a previous video, why would you spend your time wrestling in the mud with all the plebs when you can be a luxury product? When you can elevate yourself? But that costs money. And Microsoft, under the leadership of Satya Nadella, has demanded that Xbox deliver 30% accountability. What do you think that means for us, the customer? Because we know what it means for the shareholder if it comes off. It means more money. But there's a whole other video about shareholders and the various strata they occupy within that hierarchy. The shareholder scam, maybe? Is that a good way to put it? So, on the left, we have the wonderful Destin Legary. And on his channel, he gave us MLID's appraisal of the PS6 Orion details against the Xbox Magnus details. I said in a previous video that the Xbox 6 will be tech cheap, price heavy. And as Sarah Bond said, it will be a very high-end, very curated, very premium cost. Now, people on YouTube, pundits, spectators, commentators like Dustin Legary, Yong Ye, Reforge Gaming, Skill Up, amongst many, many others, have said that the prices are going to be slightly extra than the prices they thought they would be before this information was released. Which leads directly into what I was saying in my last video. However, they're still saying, ooh, 1,500, that's the tops. Because there's no doubt, it's a leap. And leaps don't come cheaply, technologically speaking. The console is dead. Long live the console. Consoles have effectively eaten themselves. So, what are we looking forward to with the Xbox 6? It's going to be powerful. It's going to be smart. Satya Nadella said as much. It's going to have your entire back catalogue. But Game Pass has its own issues. And that is, in my opinion, the cheapening of games. The fact that we have so much to choose from, it's difficult to find something to settle on. In the same way that you spend an hour and a half scrolling through Netflix or Tubi or whatever it is to find the movie that you wanted to watch an hour and a half ago when you started, it's the same for games. I'm not sure if I like this. There's no impetus to persevere, to carry on, to find out more. Because if your very first impression of the game, first couple of hours, isn't stellar, well, I've got another 2,000 games to choose from. Why should I waste my time? Buying your games got you invested from the off. You did your research and you were in a position whereby you felt confident enough that you would buy it, and you were deeply invested at this point. That doesn't exist anymore, for the most part. What Xbox is doing is exciting, but it's also cheapening everything about what makes gaming special. You can't have your cake and eat it. And in this instance, with Game Pass and the plans that Xbox have got going forward, you can have your cake and eat it. I found Game Pass made me less interested in finishing a game. There's just so much to play. And I found myself, rather oddly, going to a few games over and over again that I enjoy playing. Space Marine was on Game Pass. I downloaded it. Haven't even opened it up. Because I wasn't made to work for it, I'm just not interested. I'm going to make a prediction based on something I said in a previous video, and that was about the VR headset. You can just see here I have my PSVR2, and you can now play this on a PC. What's the next Xbox potentially going to be? PC, maybe? Xbox have stated they want to make everything an Xbox. PlayStation? Hello? How'd you like my new Xbox? Eh? Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. And until next time, have yourselves a great day.